Basically, NetWeaver provides an integration, right, from SAP to non-SAP, SAP to SAP. Here we can have three types of integrations from SAP NetWeaver. They are people integration, process integration, information integration. What is mean by people integration? Say for example, in my organization I have two departments. One is related to finance, other one is related to marketing. Finance is utilizing the technology of SAP. Marketing of IT applications are developed in Java. But for my organization, I have a portal, means I have a website through which my end users or customers will log in and they will access their relevant applications. Got my point?
Yeah.
But in the same portal, I wanted to show both finance application and marketing application. But finance application is developed in SAP, marketing application is developed in Java. Then how can I bring both the two applications which are developed in heterogeneous environments into a common platform? Okay. Here people integration does their operations. What it does, it can bring both SAP and non-SAP applications into a single UI, single user interface. That is what the purpose of them. Afterwards, the person, whoever is logging into our organization portal, will be able to access any application irrespective of the technologies on which they have been developed. Got it?
Yeah.
So here, under people integration, we have a NetWeaver component called enterprise portals. You might have heard the word called SAP EP.
EP?
Yes, enterprise portals, shortly called as EP. Okay. Next, process integration. Process integration means, do you know what is the interfacing mechanism in SAP?
I think it's XI.
Exactly. So here XI is also XI comes under NetWeaver only.
Okay.
Okay, which provides communication between SAP systems and non-SAP systems.
Yes.
What sort of communication SAP and XI provides between the systems?
IDOC?
Exactly. From SAP perspective, the interfacing channel is IDOC, right?
Yeah.
But for example, the other system, the receiving system, you are sending in IDOC format from SAP, but receiver system is a Oracle system. But the Oracle system cannot understand IDOC, right?
Yeah.
But in that case, we require a middleware which translates the data from IDOC to Oracle, and the Oracle database will be updated with the required information.
Right.
Okay? So here XI or PI means the latest version of XI is people are calling it as PI.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Exactly. Till XI, till 4.0 version, people used to call it as XI. From 7.0 onwards, they are calling it as PI. That's what called process integration, right?
Yes.
Then the third type of integration is information integration. See, as a part of process integration, just we are exchanging the data between the systems. Whereas, as a part of information integration, instead of going for exchanging, what they will do is, it takes the data from different systems and maintains the information in a centralized repository in a cleaned, consolidated and harmonized way. So instead of exchanging, here we are integrating, we are collating the data. That's what called information integration. And under information integration, we have different NetWeaver components like BI, BW, both are same. They are also
reporting.
Yeah, BI, BW is for reporting, right?
BI is for intelligence and PO.
Yes,
Object.
yes, business objects, and the other thing is MDM. MDM is also comes under information integration only.
Right.
Okay. Now,
What about MDG? Is it also one part of it or is it different?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Once we are clear with MDM, then I'll tell you what is the purpose of MDG. Right, these are the topics, these are the areas now we are going to discuss about. But I think you are well aware of the purpose of master data, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is something like the information which don't vary very frequently and will be used by any kind of transactions performed by the organization. Right. Here, master data management. Why an organization has to opt for MDM? What kind of issues the organizations are facing so far? Improper organization of their master data. For that sake, I'll take one example of a banking domain. See, a bank has different departments, something like sales, marketing, and core banking, and credit card. And assume like all those 4 departments are using different applications which are developed under different technologies. In that case, a person got a credit card by interacting with the credit card department. Later on, he misuses that credit card. Then what the credit card department people will do? They'll keep the person on hold, right?
Yeah.
The person will be blocked for performing any further transactions. Then those bank people knows like he's a foreign user, but can he able to do any core banking, any banking with the specific bank, core banking operations? Can he able to do?
No.
Can he able to contact with their marketing department?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, but how come he able to? Because the bank is already knows why he's a solid user. Then still, how come their marketing department will be able to contact that person?
Master data.
Due to, yeah, they will be having the customer master data, but how come they didn't get the information of the particular user as a foreign user from credit card department? Because only credit card department knows like he's a foreign user.
Yeah.
Is that right? But as the information is not has been passed to other departments, he will be able to access their other services, right? Except credit card, he will be able to access other services because those other departments doesn't know like he's a foreign user. What the issue? What is the issue finally? The issue is improper maintenance of the master data, because there is no thing between the master data from credit card department with other departments. Okay, something gets happened at one record at a specific system, the same thing should be reflected in the other connected systems, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, it doesn't happen. Then how it can be fixed by using SAP, not only SAP Network MDM, or it could be any MDM, right?
Yeah.
See how MDM works, as I told, is a central repository. It works in a central location, right?
Yep.
It takes the master data from each and every department, from credit card department, marketing, finance, and core banking. It takes the master data from all the 4 departments and keeps the master data in a central location in a cleaned, deduplicated, and consolidated way.
Updated. Yep.
Exactly, updated. Then, going forward, if you change a master data, if you do any change at a particular customer or particular material, immediately the change will be reflected in MDM. Then from MDM, the change will be passed to the respective target system. It's an instant process where the change will be reflected in all the systems. This is one case where exactly we will make use of the master data. And if we don't maintain the master data properly, it will be very difficult for the high level management of the organization to assess the organization performance and issues.
Yeah.
Okay? It's the key data for any organization. Now, so as I told you, SAP MDM has come up with SAP NetWeaver MDM package, right? And under SAP NetWeaver MDM package and under SAP NetWeaver, it is under information integration layer of SAP NetWeaver.
Fine.
And these three are the basic features of SAP NetWeaver MDM. The first one is master data consolidation. As I said earlier, MDM takes the master data from different client or legacy systems and makes it in a central repository, right? That is what called consolidation. Different systems means the systems could be SAP systems or non-SAP systems. What the point?
Yeah.
And harmonization. It means whatever change you do for a particular master record, that change will be reflected to respect to target systems instantly or immediately.
Real time.
That's what called master data harmonization. And the third one is central master data management. See, here we are taking the master data from different client systems and making it in a central location or a single room. In that case, in some systems the data might be inconsistent, in some systems the data might be errored, in some systems the data might be duplicated. Right? As we are bringing down the data from different systems to MDM, same customer or same particular material will be available in more than one system, right?
Yeah.
After migrating the data from all the systems to MDM, in MDM we'll be having some errors, some errored, inconsistent and duplicated data. As an MDM consultant, we have to make it as error-free, consistent and deduplicated data.
Yeah.
All those operations can be achieved using central master data management. Here, SAP NetWeaver MDM is simply a tool. Okay? It's simply a tool working out of SAP. You cannot see SAP environment over here. It's a separate tool that's been installed out of SAP. Through that tool, you can be able to maintain or manage the master data. Okay? And actually this tool was developed by an organization called A2I, which is a German-based organization, developed this tool and later on was procured by SAP in 2004, and they have released SAP MDM with different versions. And latest version of SAP NetWeaver MDM is MDM 7.1. Okay? And this tool can be segregated into three types. Okay? We have different clients that can be utilized as a part of this SAP MDM, and those clients can be segregated into three types. They are administration components, client components, and the last one is server components.
Server.
Yes. Admin, client, and server components. Yeah. If you move forward to administration components, do you have any knowledge on database? Yeah, Bilal?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have any knowledge on database?
Database.
Just a basic knowledge. Okay, no problem. See, if you said you are having some knowledge on master data for the material master, right?
Yeah.
So what are the tables on which master data will be stored in material master?
Oh, Mara and Mark. Okay.
Yes, Mara and March, right? So until unless you create those tables, you cannot maintain the material records, right?
Yeah.
So someone has to create those tables. Or I think in your perspective, Mara and March are the standard tables provided by SAP.
They are for material master. master.
Exactly.
For vendor master, they are different, and from
Yes,
from the same.
vendor master is LFA1, LFB1, LFM1 like this.
Yes.
Customer master KNA1, KNB1.
Yeah, they are all different. Yes.
Yes, yes. See, say for example, if some standard tables provided by SAP are not according to your requirement, then what you will do? They are not satisfying your requirement, then we have to opt for custom tables, right?
Yes.
Means we have to create the tables of our own.
That's the 16.
Exactly. As in SC16, we will create the tables. Table maintenance tables will be created over there, right?
Yes.
Now,
I haven't worked on it though, but I mean, I know the transaction. So.
okay. Actually, it doesn't require, in MDM it doesn't require working with those transaction codes and all this. And at the high level, I am discussing about that without creation of the tables, like we cannot maintain the data, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, in MDM also, the tables can be created by using MDM administration component. So using here MDM console is a kind of MDM administration component using which we can be able to create different kinds of tables and fields on top of which data will be maintained. Right? And apart from the table maintenance, the table fields creation, tables creation, it can also be utilized for security perspective. If you want to restrict some specific people to access your master data, that can also be restricted using this MDM console.
Okay.
And you can also take a backup of your master data. You can also take a duplication of the master data. You can also transport the master data from one environment to other environment. Such kind of administration activities can also be performed using SAP MDM console. Okay, not only for creation of the table, apart from that, some administration related operations can also be achieved using MDM console. Okay. And here, apart from console, we have another client in administration component, that is Clicks. Clicks is nothing but, it is also acts same as console, but the difference is the environment or the platform. Platform means if you are working with GUI based operating system, something like Windows, there you will opt for SAP MDM console for creation of the tables and fields. Whereas if you are working on a command line based environment, something like Unix and Linux, then we will go for Clicks.
Oh, I have a little bit of experience. I actually did a training in AIX, so yeah.
Okay. So in most of the clients we are using console only. In very rare cases, if they are having any security perspective, security issues and all, then if they feel compatible with the Unix or Linux, people are going for Clicks.
Yeah, I was not comfortable with that. But yeah, I mean, this is easier actually. If you have a GUI or a console or something.
Yes, that will be very easier as compared to Clicks.
Yeah.
99% of the cases, people are using console only.
Okay.
Fine. Next, MDM client component. See, assume like with the help of admin components, our tables and fields are ready, right?
Yep.
What is the next activity to be done? We need to fill the tables with the data, right? But as I told, the purpose of MDM is it takes data from different systems and will be uploaded into relevant MDM tables which are maintained centrally. Now, once the tables are ready, the next activity is uploading the data which was extracted from different source systems, right? Uploading. Here for uploading we use a term called importing the master data to MDM tables.
Right.
So after importing the data from different systems to MDM, then we need to remove the errors, we need to make the data as consistent, and we need to remove the duplicates.
Yeah.
Right?
That is done with the client component.
Exactly. And the third one is, once you have done all these things, if you do a change for a material or a customer or a vendor, the change should be reflected to all the other systems instantly, right? That is what called
real time.
distribution. In real time, the distribution should happen in online for any change. It could be a create, or it could be a modify, it could be a deletion, it could be a blocking.
Oh, that's also in client?
Exactly, that's also in client. So importing, organizing, distribution. All these three can be achieved using MDM client components. So in client components, for importing the data from different systems to MDM, we will use a client called MDM import manager. Whereas once the data has been imported from different systems to MDM, to make it as a cleaned, error-free, consolidated, deduplicated data, we have to make use of a client called data manager.
Okay.
And once the data is ready, going forward, if any change or creation of the master data should be replicated in the respective or relevant target systems. That will be achieved using MDM syndication. So that is the purpose of MDM client components: data manager, import manager, and syndicator. Got it, Bilal?
Yeah.
And coming to the last one is server components. It's very simple. Like assume, like as I told, MDM can take the data from different source systems to MDM, right? Source systems means that could be SAP system or Oracle system or SQL Server system or DB2, right?
Yeah.
We are taking the data from different heterogeneous databases to MDM. But here, to maintain the data in MDM, we need to have its own database, right?
Yep.
But MDM doesn't have its own database. It is also internally utilizing a SQL-based RDBMS only. SQL-based RDBMS means it could be either Oracle or SQL Server or DB2. Either one is lying under MDM. So from the consultant perspective and from the user perspective, we assume like we are working with MDM server, but internally MDM server is interacting with underlying database server for storing and retrieving the master data. Okay?
Okay, it doesn't have a separate server?
Exact, doesn't have a separate database. Okay, internally MDM server using either Oracle or SQL Server or DB2.
Okay, so it does have its own database.
It doesn't have its own database. That is why MDM server is using another database internally.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So that is what it is saying.
Storage and purposes, right?
Pardon?
For storing purposes.
Exact, for storing and extraction.
Right.
Okay? So if you are getting the data from MDM server means internally it is taking the data from the database server.
Right.
Okay? Here that is what it is saying. MDM server manages access to the DBMS to one or more repositories containing the master data. Then after extraction of the master data from the DBMS, it passes the data to all the client systems across the network which are accessing that particular master data. Okay? Next. Import server. See, in client components we have seen a client called import manager, right?
Yeah.
So the purpose of import manager is to import the data to MDM from the source system.
Yeah.
Say for example, in the source systems I have 1 lakh records. Can I import all 1 lakh records at a time to MDM? No, right? Because it's very difficult to upload all 1 lakh records at a time to MDM. Then we will split all those 1 lakh records into different files where each file contains 1000 records. Okay?
Yeah.
Then the first file I will upload into MDM through import manager. That is a manual process, right?
Yeah.
There I will do the required configurations or settings. Then I will import the data from the source file to MDM. But likewise, if I have 1000 files, will I be able to import all the 1000 files manually?
should be some system.
There should be some automation process, right? So that is why for the first file, I will do manual process by doing all the required configurations and settings and by creation of the maps. Then I can be able to save those configurations in a map file. Once that file, we will call the file configuration file as map. And the same map file we will be utilizing for the consecutive files to import the data from those files to MDM automatically. So the first file we have to import manually through import manager. There we will define a configuration settings file called map, and that map will be utilized for the consecutive files to import the data available in those files to MDM automatically. But that map should run automatically, right, for the consecutive files.
Yeah, so if you're talking about an LSMW,
Yes, you can say it's a kind of LSMW.
so we just show it what to do and we map it and then it's automatically.
Exactly.
It just takes the map.
Exactly. The automatic execution of the map can be configured using import server.
Right.
So import manager is for manual importing, import server is for automation of importing. But without doing any configurations at import manager, will import manager work? No, right? Hello?
Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. What was the question again?
Yeah. Will import server work without working with import manager?
No.
But at least once we have to act on import manager, then only we will create the config file called map.
Yes.
Because without having map, import server will not work. Got the point? Next. Syndication server is a vice versa of import server. See, I want to send some information or a change or create to a system A from MDM.
Right.
Okay.
So when you have done everything, whatever changes you have done, then when you are sending it back to the master data of the ERP system or city or not the city, whatever, this is what you use.
Exactly. It is for automation of distribution from MDM to required target systems, which can be either SAP or non-SAP. But first time we have to define a configuration through which we will push our record manually. So going forward, that will be automated through syndication server. Okay, just vice versa of import server. Got it? Right, next. This is the architecture of MDM. Here I can give you one more point. As I told, MDM takes the data from system A, say for example this was the source system, and can also send it back to system A or system B. And here one point, it doesn't mean like from whichever system we are taking the data and for all those systems we need to send back. Source system can be n number of systems, target systems can be n number of systems. It doesn't mean like source and target system counts will be the same. Okay, just for initial migration, I might take from 3 systems, but the target systems can be more than 10 systems. It depends on the system architecture. Okay. Here, as I told earlier, MDM takes data from the source system. But here I can say like MDM cannot directly interact with any source and the target systems.
Yeah.
Then how, if without direct interaction, without direct communication, then how MDM can take or MDM can give the data? Is it right? In that case, MDM will take the help of a middleware called XI. Okay. If MDM wanted to take data from system A, who will take the data first? XI will take the data.
Yeah.
Then XI will give the data to MDM.
MDM language.
Exactly. Then XI will give the data to MDM. From XI will give to MDM in a file format. From that file, using import manager, we will import the data to MDM. Okay, here you can see XI is there, na? In the left bottom, XI will take the data from system, source system, and it will keep the file in this inbound port. Can you see inbound port over here?
Yeah.
From this inbound port, either import manager or import server will pick the file and they will upload the data to MDM server.
Right.
You can see in blue, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, if I want to send back any information to a target system, MDM will, syndication server or syndication manager will distribute the data in a file format to outbound port.
Yes.
Inbound port is for receiving, outbound port is for sending that.
Got it.
From this outbound port, XI will pick the file and XI will post the data into respective target system.
Perfect.
And apart from this, we have some other MDM, ABAP or Java APIs which will be used by the portal consultant to build a UI for MDM.
That's the interface also.
Yes. Okay?
Right.
Right. All these are related to MDM, ABAP or Java APIs which were used by the portal consultant. It is not our job. Yeah, with this we have done with MDM, high level overview of SAP NetWeaver MDM. Now I will give you a brief overview on SAP MDG.
Okay.
Okay, here SAP MDG is next generation of SAP MDM.
So,
Okay, and why we need to have two MDMs, one is MDM and other one is MDG. Here SAP NetWeaver MDM, if you are working with the SAP NetWeaver MDM project, is dependent on multiple technologies. Something like you are using MDM and to interact with source and target systems, what system you are required, in PI is required.
that's right.
Exactly. And to define some settings, to define some configuration from MDM to PI to target system, adapter is required.
Yes.
And to build a UI for MDM, we require portal consultants, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for the customer, it's the most expensive because they need to take license for all these technologies,
Yeah.
and that too, all these areas are interdependent. Without having a single technology of any one of these, we cannot achieve MDM features. The benefits of MDM, we cannot take it up, right? Whereas MDG is the integrated technology in SAP box,
Oh,
but MDM is working out of MDM, out of SAP.
okay.
Okay, MDG is integrated in SAP ECC system only, and that is available from ECC 6, EHP 5 or above.
Got it.
Okay, and in MDG also we have some drawbacks. In MDG we don't have the facility of consolidation. Consolidation means MDG cannot take the data from non-SAP systems.
Got it.
Okay, if your organization is using only SAP system, then it's very best way to opt for MDG instead of going for MDM.
Right. It's convenient for them.
Exactly, it's linear for them. Whereas for MDM perspective, it's been used by the clients whose environment is vast and heterogeneous. If that is the case, they will opt for MDM. But the purpose of MDG and MDM both are same, but based on the environment of the customer, some customers might opt for MDG, some customers might opt for MDM. And MDM is works on Java-based environment. It works on Java. It doesn't mean like you need to know the Java. It works on Java-based environment. And as SAP is a competitor for Java, they wanted to reduce the influence of Java. That is why they have developed their own technology called MDG.
Right. Okay.
But purpose, and one more thing, without knowing that MDM areas, MDM concepts, it's difficult to learn or difficult to understand the areas of MDG.
Yeah.
Most of the MDG consultants are having prior MDM experience. The people who are having prior MDM knowledge or MDM experience only will be able to learn MDG, will be able to understand MDG.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So, about the timing, what do you say? What time?
Yeah, timing. I need some time to think of it. I will let you know by today evening. By tonight, at any time, I'll let you know to those guys. They'll give you an update.
Okay, yeah, I mean, take the time. Either, see, for me, the central time, it's better to do it early morning or in the evening time, like around 4 p.m. CST.
Okay.
I mean, that time will be good. So you can see whatever is convenient for you.
Sure, definitely. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you an update, definitely.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, Bilal, thank you. Thanks for attending the session.
All right, yeah. Do we have a class tomorrow? We don't have it tomorrow, right? Now it's next week.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you again.
I'll update the schedule as well as the timing, some fixed times, okay?
Okay, let me know. Thanks.
Okay, Bilal, thank you.
Yep.
Bye.